is Twice Talk, and we are listeners supported by 91.5 The Rebel, HD2, Las Vegas, the broadcast service of UNLV. And of course, I'm always accompanied by the fantastic Oak. How you doing today?
I'm fantastic.
Fantastic. Looking fantastic, feeling fantastic. It's a great day, great day. Hey, if you guys didn't notice, we got Mr. Larri Fletcher in the building, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm inspired, man. That's what I'm doing.
Inspired. Well, you inspire a lot of people, and the way you inspire people is like nobody else has done it. What he is and he does, he is the ambassador of the Now We Know campaign. Can you shed a little bit of light to us about the Now We Know campaign? What are you guys about?
Well, basically, the Now We Know campaign, we launched that back in January this year.
Okay.
And basically, we're just informing women on some of the dangers and the materials that are in the sanitary napkins on the shelves.
Oh, okay. Dangerous. What kind of dangers we talk about? Talking about you can lose your life, you can lose a limb. What's going on?
Well, you can do your own independent research. I can't really go into specifics, but what I can tell you is that some of the material, which I'll show you later on, is not something I would want my daughter to use.
So do you guys have like a message or anything that you guys are trying to put out about the people, or like the target market is just strictly women? What's going on?
Well, we want to educate men too, and also young ladies. You know, basically what we're trying to do is get into these middle schools, these high schools, and educate young ladies. Because if you think about it, a young woman uses a sanitary napkin or a tampon from the time she's maybe 13 years old. That's the average age. Some have it at 9. And so we basically want to, educate them, because from the time they're 13 to the time they're maybe in their 50s, they're going to use a sanitary napkin or a tampon 15,000 times.
Oh, wow. That's the average?
That's the average.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now, you said you can't go into the specifics. Why is that? Is that like a clause that's part of the business side that you can't talk about?
We don't want to get sued by people, so.
So you can't be like, always has this in their pads.
Right.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, can't do that.
And so that what they could pretty much literally come after you for letting the people and the public know what kind of products and stuff they're using in.
Yeah, well, being in the network marketing industry, the commissioners can shut down our company for, doing such things like that. So, we want to be a company that's focused on what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We want to introduce a product that's going to make our women feel comfortable and, relax during their cycle. And so anything else it shouldn't be on our mind. We want to focus on our product.
Oh, okay. So how did you get into the Now We Know campaign? How did they recruit you, or did you start it up, or what? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, a friend of my wife's sent her a video one night, and my wife was very interested, and she wanted me to look at it because she said, I believe what this guy is saying in the video about sanitary napkins. And so I asked her to, send it over to me, and I'll look at it when I go to work the next day. And so once I seen it, it blew me away, because immediately I thought about my daughter, who's 9 years old, and being that she could start her cycle at any time, it kind of struck me to see that I want to give her the best product possible, because that's a serious thing once a young girl starts her cycle. I remember a young girl who I was in school with started her cycle at 9 years old, and she was leaking and had to go to the nurse's office. Yeah. And all the kids laughed at her.
That's always embarrassing.
Oh, it was real embarrassing.
That's happened to you guys?
Yeah, I had to change my pants
once every month.
Yeah, but I wet myself instead. I in the front.
Right.
So that's always embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a serious thing, because all the kids teased her, and to be 36 years old and still have that in my mind is definitely something I thought about when I seen the video. And so a gentleman came to my house and showed me the demonstration that I'll show you guys later, and then I was immediately in. I wanted to be a part of it.
So
we can go into the demonstration. Actually,
I got a couple questions.
Okay.
So before we get into the demonstration, is there any the word starts with an I, innovations into the sanitary industry? Into the sanitary industry that you are looking into? Like, are you going to move it forward? Are you trying to change the way some of the things are being brought?
Well, with our product, the one thing we do want to change is to retrain women on how they're using their sanitary napkin, as far as how many times they're changing a day. Okay. So with our product, you're not going to be able to change every hour because you're going to be dry. That's our goal, is to keep you dry so you don't have to change as much.
Okay.
I don't think anybody changes their sanitary napkin every hour.
I've had some women tell me
Every
they
hour.
have, because they
Unless
just don't like the feel of sitting on something wet.
Right.
Yeah, so they buy that 40 in a pack and go from there.
Well, yeah, you should bring a lot of light to me because this is all new information to me.
Bro,
all new.
Hey, what's the campaign called? Now we know. You about to know today.
Hey, but just as long as you just keep it that way. 'Cause I don't want to know.
It's heavily marketed by men. Is there a reason why it's heavily marketed by men opposed to being marketed by women?
It wasn't intended that way. I think more men jumped in the forefront because we felt like we wanted to say we're sorry, because a lot of men.
Sorry for what?
Neglected.
Right.
What?
When a woman's on her cycle, we just think she tripping. You know what I'm saying?
She
so what I'm about to show you,
She is.
what I'm about to show you, you're gonna see why her pH balance is off, why she's emotional, why she's angry. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see why her head spins like the little girl from The Exorcist when she's that.
And it's because of the sanitary napkin.
So are you telling
I'm not saying it's because of the sanitary napkins. I'm just going to say it's because of the design, the way it makes you feel. No one should feel wet all day. You know what I'm saying? Someone should feel comfortable when they're on their cycle. And we witnessed that these products don't do that.
So are
Okay.
you telling
Well,
me
the always thin sanitary napkins keep me very, very dry.
Okay, that's good.
So I think there's other products too. There's also tampons. There's also the menstrual cups, like the Diva cups. I just don't like when people place emphasis on one thing of why so many other things are happening, if that makes sense. That was like a really big statement.
Right. Well, we're about to see today.
we can't go over the fact that you're trying to excuse women for their negligence for their actions?
Stop.
We cannot let that go by. Is that what you're trying to tell us right now? That you're going to give women a pass when they are using your product?
Nah, man.
Oh, thank you.
He's saying that they're not going to have to go through all that once they use it.
Oh, so they won't even get angry when they hang out with you or when they use your stuff.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they're going to feel comfortable.
It's a more comfortable sanitary
Who's
napkin.
comfortable when they're angry? Or who's angry when they're comfortable?
Well, most of the women I've had try the product have told me that they feel a lot calmer, no pain. Now, I'm not saying that's
No pain.
I'm not saying that's going to be for every woman,
Right.
because my wife tried it and she still experienced a little cramps. I've had a young 18-year-old young lady try it, and she had sciatica nerve pain. She had to sit for 8 hours through a convention, and usually when she's on her cycle, she cramps real bad, severely, to the point where she's just very angry. She's upset because she doesn't feel comfortable. And so when she tried our product, I gave her 2 samples. She immediately put it on that morning and felt no pain the whole day.
That's interesting. So you got like medication on there.
Something like that.
Oh.
That's something we tapped into about the ions.
Oh.
Is it FDA approved?
Yes.
Oh, so Oak kind of made a statement the other day, a couple weeks ago, and you sound like an individual that Oak may want to listen to. She don't like to listen to me too often.
Oh my
but what she
goodness, I'm right here.
What she said was that more men should speak up for women. And it
Absolutely.
sounds like you are trying to speak up for women. And so what would you say for women if you could speak for them?
Well, it's kind of back to her original question where she asked me why are more men taking the forefront. You know, we're basically telling women that we understand what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? We understand how it feels to be irritable during that time of the month. So being that, in the past, men were... I'll give you an example of myself. When I would go in the bathroom and I would see my wife's sanitary napkins in the trash, I didn't want to look at it. I just wanted to...
We don't want to look at it.
Right. I wanted to get out, close the door, and get up out of here. Right?
don't wanna look
I
at it.
wanted to get out of there.
Ever since I joined this campaign, the first day I woke up, my wife, I seen on the counter that she had cracked open the Cherish premium sanitary napkin, and I had a big smile on my face, right?
Yeah.
Because I know, for one, she's taken care of. She's not using anything that may cause, her to be irritable or for her to have rashes or something like that, right?
Okay.
So I felt happy. Number one. Number two, I felt happy because I was going to get my testimony from her to see how the product worked. And so, I would have never done that had I not been a part of this movement. So I think most of the men in the Now We Know campaign are feeling this way. And like I answered, you know, it wasn't expected to be that way. It wasn't designed to be that way. We would definitely like more women to take the forefront in our campaign. But the truth is, a lot of women just don't know about this.
Okay, so we would love to see that demonstration. Show us a little bit about how it make it move and all that, man. I need to learn today.
All right, bro. So basically, what I seen in a video that was presented to me.
Okay.
A gentleman named Damon Crump. He pulled this out. All right. And immediately, what I thought was, man, what is this guy talking about? Because remember, my wife sent me this video.
Okay.
So one thing we noticed about this, it's called a what? Sanitary napkin, correct?
Yes.
And if you could do me a favor, just because people are listening on the radio and can't see, just kind of describe what you're doing.
This is a sanitary napkin. Most people call it a pad. So, you know, that's the street term for it. So, basically, when we look at this sanitary napkin, it don't look so sanitary.
It don't look so sanitary.
What do you notice about it? That's not sanitary.
It looks familiar. Oh, because it's not completely sealed. It's not completely sealed.
It looks flimsy.
Is it completely sealed?
No.
So we know especially if we work in the hospital, right? Or if we're in the hospitals, we know that in order for something to be called sanitary, it needs to be completely sealed and closed, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
That thought never went through my mind, but that makes a lot of sense.
The way you are looking at this pad is so funny.
Bro, it's not gonna jump out and bite you.
It might, man. I don't know.
All right. Right. So for those who's watching or listening, basically the pad has an opening on each side, right?
And so you can pretty much touch it if you want.
You can touch it
without it being open.
But guess what? Here's the killer. Where do women keep these at?
In their bags.
Under the sink.
Or in their purse? Would you say in your purse? When you want to go, you got to throw it in your purse when you out?
Oh yeah, in the purse with all the crumbs and makeup.
Exactly.
Now you got crumbs in there. Oh.
What about loose change?
Loose change.
Okay.
Coins?
So if coins or loose change gets up in here and touches your pad, would you say that germs is on loose change?
Money's dirty.
Money is dirty. Look how many hands come across loose change, right? So your pad has been contaminated and with germs before you even cracked it open.
Right, for sure.
Okay. So, you know, most women have told us that, you know, when they open up their sanitary napkin, the first thing they do is kind of shake it to get the crumbs out, stuff like that.
So they told you there's crumbs on there.
Oh yeah, I'm putting it in their purse.
All that?
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah.
They shake it off?
They shake it off.
I am not dusting off a pad and putting it on. I'm sorry.
So you just so you just gonna what? Put it on? You ain't gonna shake it off?
You can put your pads in a little purse inside of your purse.
True, but you know, from doing
That thing look like a diaper to me.
That's an extra long pad.
Yeah, this is their overnight pad, the competitors.
Okay,
but we're
so
gonna
the
call
overnight.
this. We're not gonna say no names, please. We're just gonna say Exhibit A. Exhibit A.
Okay.
Exhibit A.
Mr. A.
Napkin A. That sounds cuter.
Napkin A.
Napkin A.
So
Napkin A.
excuse me as I get some of this stuff out, right?
Okay.
So let me just do this real quick. You guys got some more questions to ask me while I do this, but what I'm gonna do is basically.
Oh, we intrigued right now.
Yeah, because it's about to go down right now.
Oh yeah, show me
I'm
something.
not gonna lie. This little movement makes me excited to see men holding so many pads in their hands.
I mean, if you look on Facebook, you'll see a lot of men posing with pads. I was on there posing like this with the pads.
Now that I like. I like that.
Right.
That's cool.
Is that a selling? You can't sell that. Like, that's not gonna be on the commercial.
It don't matter. Women are going to want to know why the heck is he holding a sanitary napkin?
And that's the reason why I think why men are marketing it, because it's more interesting. Another woman holding a pad is going to be like, oh, okay, women talking about periods again.
But if there's a man, you're gonna be like,
The man's like, what he doing?
So here's the killer.
It's going to draw women in.
That is an excellent marketing point.
Strategy, for sure.
Yes.
What do you notice about this pad?
It's sealed.
It's cute.
It's cute.
It's sexy, ain't it?
Wait, he slept it up on me.
It's cuter. I mean, and it's sealed. It's sealed.
It's completely sealed.
Let
Okay,
me
so
So let me ask you this.
yeah, it's sealed.
Well, I was planning on asking you, but you told me you're a married man. But I wanted to know if you ever use this as a pickup line. You ever use this to like get in? Like, yeah,
hey girl, I got them Cherish pads for you.
no, bro, I haven't.
You don't know nothing about the
You don't
Cherish
know nothing
pads.
about that, man. Let me add some life to you, baby. You know.
Okay, so we're gonna sit this one. This is our day pad.
The
day pad.
It's
right?
a little smaller.
So you see it's
I
a
see what you're doing here. You're gonna compare it to the overnight pad.
a little,
Exactly.
a little more.
That's why this demonstration is so gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I'm putting our day pad against their overnight.
Okay.
So it should be already unevenly matched. Okay.
Hey, Twice, you got to feel on that one. Make sure it ain't already
Yeah,
wet.
go ahead and feel the material. Go ahead and feel the material. Feel the difference in the material.
All right, confirm.
This feel. He kind of soft and look.
This has been confirmed by the host that
I never touched one of these before.
that both pads are completely dry.
Yep.
You like how this one feels?
The no-name
better.
Exhibit A pad, is it softer than
Slim, come on.
the Cherish pad? Is it Cherish?
It's way softer.
The Cherish pad is
So-
very soft like a
So
pillow.
the Cherish pad is more soft than the Exhibit A pad. All right.
Napkin A, we're calling.
Napkin A.
Come touch it, Slim.
I'm not touching nothing over there. Y'all lost y'all darn mind. Y'all touching all that stuff all y'all want. I ain't touching no darn
I
sanitary.
touched it though.
Neither one.
What is wrong
You
with
see
you?
how I touched it though?
Neither one of them are sanitary.
Y'all better get going with the
It was sealed though.
You're gonna make me throw it on you.
All right.
You throw that thing on me, you gonna have to darn stop.
What's wrong with you? Anyways, thank you, Larry, for being a true sport.
6
Hey,
years,
check-
I ain't never seen my wife that.
Hey,
Maybe she wears tampons.
I ain't never seen them either.
Ain't never seen it.
Anyways, back to the demonstration.
yeah. So
With the soft pad.
yeah, that's soft.
I had
So
to touch with my knuckle.
Gynecologists told us that the average woman, her feminine flow. This is what we're gonna call it. We're gonna use the term feminine flow.
I like it.
And I'm just gonna narrate while you talking. He has the water out.
50 milliliters.
He has two cups of water that he poured from the measuring cup. Both of them are equal. He's holding the measuring cup with just a tiny bit of water in it right now. He has a very firm, tight grip
50
on it.
milliliters.
50. I don't know those.
Hold on. You gotta let me finish.
Milliliters?
How many ounces are in 50 milliliters? What is it, about 2 ounces?
It's about 2.
Probably like 1.75. 1.75.
We have a guest in the room. Make sure that no one uses Wi-Fi. Do not use Wi-Fi as we do this demonstration.
Okay, so
Okay.
gynecologists have told us that on an average, a woman feminine flow is between 15 to 50 milliliters. Now we know that
A
some
day?
throughout the day.
Oh.
Now we know that some women flow more, some may flow less,
Right.
but we're just going to go with 50, the average that
Okay.
gynecologists give us.
So you got 50 right now.
Would you say that's 50 right there?
So
Hold on, let me sit it down.
so we looking at
50 milliliters.
Twice is
looking at 50
giving
right on
a
the
very stern stare
50.
at the measuring
It's a
cup.
little more than 50 for your heavy girls.
Twice is confirming that it is a little more
For your heavy
than
girls. So
50.
you can go ahead and tune and tap
The
in.
host and the guest hosts are spinning the cup around the table to make sure everybody has a clear
So
view.
we're going to simulate this, okay?
So if anyone doesn't know, it's about 2 shots of vodka
Whiskey.
that he's pouring in there.
Interesting that that's your comparison.
Because we go off ounces.
Interesting.
Actually, it's about a shot and a half.
Alcoholic, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
So I see it working.
Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the
So,
pad.
just so everybody knows, we have now poured the 50 milliliters on the Napkin A pad. On Napkin A pad, we poured the 50 milliliters.
2
It was
shots of water.
slowly. It was poured evenly across. And if you look at it twice, would you fill it for us?
Negative.
Would you say that this is 50? Would you say that this is 50?
That is a little less than what you poured here. I know what you're getting at, buddy.
Okay. We're gonna,
Don't try it.
I'll tell you what.
Twice is keeping him honest. He's keeping him honest. He told him, put some more of that water. Add some water to the Cherish pad.
About a shot and a half of water.
Okay.
We're gonna do the same thing because we want to be fair, right?
Yep.
And
Gotta
pour it
be
everywhere.
Even, Okay, nice even pour as well.
The pour is even. He's pouring.
Okay.
I honestly cannot tell the difference from here.
Now,
Me either.
you can't tell the difference, but you about to tell the difference now, buddy.
He's excited, everybody.
What I want you to do.
He's about to show us something special.
Twice. What I want you to do. I want you to press down on this.
This side.
Yes. No, bro.
Ain't no way in the world you can get me to touch that thing.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's
Press
cold.
down. It's cold. It's what?
It's It's sanitary.
It's wet.
Oh, yeah.
Twice is pressing down with
hard.
a napkin over
Yeah, my hands
Exhibit
wet.
A. I mean, I'm sorry, napkin A.
Napkin A.
He's taking napkin A. He pressed down on napkin A with a paper towel. And it's the half sheet paper towel. You know, back in the day, we always had the full sheet paper towel. Now everybody do this half sheet paper towel. So it's one of them half sheet paper towels. So it fit right over the little diaper by itself.
And it's wet.
And that thing is soaking wet.
Now, twice.
Don't call it a
good.
little diaper.
You felt that, right?
I think
Yeah, I think I
That's
can bring it out right now.
Okay, so imagine being on this throughout the day, while you're at work, while you're at school, while you
Is
doing
it a hot
laundry.
day or a cold day?
It don't
Or
matter.
you can
bro.
talk to me because
I'm gonna get you.
I
on
don't
this
have to
side.
imagine.
I want him. I want him as a man.
I like this right now.
I want him as a man to
That is so
understand what
rude.
women are going through. So would you want to sit on something like this all day?
If I had to, no. I would ask you.
If you didn't have to, would you want
What
to?
about you?
He's like, what are you talking
Absolutely
about?
not.
Absolutely not. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is
That's
I'm gonna have you fill
disgusting.
the Cherish pad. I'm gonna have you
It's
fill it.
water.
He said it's hard.
Press hard on that. Press hard on that thing. You might want to get up. Press
Oh.
hard on that.
I'm
thing.
trying.
Oh, yeah. Use them workout muscles.
It's jelly. It's juicy under there.
Juicy.
But is it wet? That's what we want to know.
No, it's not wet.
It's not wet. It's dry. Completely dry. Go ahead.
So just so everybody knows, we took another paper towel. There's no trickery.
Oh,
There's no trickery here.
Oh, good demonstration.
we didn't know which one it was.
We took another paper towel. The one that ain't got nothing on it, that's the one.
That was a.
That's napkin A.
We pressed down on this Cherish pad. Nothing came out of it.
Oh, okay.
Nothing
okay.
came out.
Twice then held both napkins up after the demonstration and squeezed both. Water only came out of the one on napkin A.
So what's
I know
I
what's in
mean,
there.
here's what you have to understand. I just poured 50 milliliters on this, so obviously it's going to be wet, right?
Yes.
I just poured 50 milliliters on this, and it's dry.
I didn't feel this one.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ain't seen nothing that miraculous that Jesus walked on water.
Bruh, so now what I'm about to do is, have you ever decided that you want to go ahead and see what your sanitary napkin is made of?
You mean cut it open?
Yeah.
No.
We call it bust the pad open as my partner, Mr.
we
Derek Brown.
like
Bust
busting
the
things
pad
open.
open.
Oh, take it
Bust
easy
it open,
now.
baby. Oh,
Take it easy.
Okay.
Subject a little touchy.
No pun.
Have you ever thought about doing that? Have
maybe
you ever
talking
done it?
about some.
Rip the pad. I probably have after.
cups.
Never mind. I'm gonna just keep my comment to myself.
Go ahead, go and let us know, Oak. We need your
Sounds like
input.
Oak has accidentally ripped a pad before.
We gonna dissect this and see what it's made of, okay?
So what we're doing at this point, Larry is opening the pad. He's opening Exhibit A, Napkin A pad, and we're going to see what it's made out of. I'm going to tell you the truth. It looks like a sole of a shoe
Yes,
at this point. It
exactly what it looks
Tell
like.
me, is that cotton? Does that feel like cotton?
looks like a sole of a shoe.
Is that velvet?
Is that velvet? Hey,
And once he ripped it out,
No, it's plastic.
it's the back end of Velcro.
Let me show you.
There's the back end of Velcro on there.
Feel that, bro.
Smell it twice.
this is like
That's
one of them.
disgusting.
I'm joking.
And it's still wet, right?
I'm
Yeah.
tempted to smell everything I've been my hands on,
You're
low-key, but I
disgusting.
wasn't smelling this one.
You ought to go wash
But
your
what
darn hands.
it feels like some of that material you get from the hospital, or like the socks you get from the hospital, or
The gauze or
yeah, exactly what it feels like. You don't,
No,
this
that's-
don't feel like.
That's too plasticky to feel like that.
yeah.
to me.
Look.
You think the hospital uses real cloth?
Cotton don't sound like this?
He's right now So Larry is scratching. He's scratching the mystery material.
Yeah,
The mystery material.
cotton don't sound like that, and it don't look like this either.
Oh wow.
So let me ask you, as a woman, when you was using a sanitary napkin, did you think that your product was made of cotton?
No, I didn't.
What'd you guess?
I thought it was made of plastic.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now this second layer right here.
Oak is up on game.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know who thinks it's cotton unless they use.
She said she knew the whole time these things wasn't about nothing.
Using a 25-cent pad, it's gonna be made of cotton.
Here's the
25%.
25 cent. Those are the only pads that I've known to be made out of cotton.
in the restroom.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
trash.
Oh, so you don't want it made out of cotton.
Well, you don't want that pad made out of cotton.
So what's the ideal material you're looking for?
Cotton is supposed to be the ideal material for
okay.
most things that you put on your body.
I mean, yeah.
What is he doing now?
Bro, this is their absorbency system. So you see this blue strip?
Look like soap.
You see this blue strip?
Yeah, what about it?
So now he's pulled the shoe sole out of the pad.
It was like, look let's design it.
Does it bleed?
It's supposed to look like it's something, like a little absorbency system, but it's really not.
It's blue dye. So guess what happens? A woman's body is A woman's body is 98.5 degrees, right? So, well, the human body, I should say.
It's probably hotter now.
Yours is hotter.
Okay.
Whoa! You wouldn't
Twice
even
is
know.
getting a little saucy.
All them questions.
You wouldn't even know. But
A couple pads come out and look at Twice.
So
Anyway.
the woman's body is 98.5 degrees.
I can smell it.
Okay.
What you mean?
This is getting weird.
a woman's body is 98%.
I don't know what's happening.
98.5 degrees.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Focus.
So you have to think that she has blood, she has urine that leaks out, she has sometimes blood clots. Y'all, I'm grossing you out, I know, but stay with me. I'm going.
Stay with me.
Okay. So imagine when she
And
bleeds
sweat.
out.
Don't forget sweat.
That's 98.5 degrees, the moisture. So when she bleeds through this pad and it touches this blue dye and she has a job, let's say she's like this, where she has to get up, sit down, get up. Go do this,
Or a
go do
cocktail waitress like I am.
this. Exactly.
Outside.
So what do you think this blue dye is going back into?
Your body.
Going back into her
Yeah, you're
bloodstream.
absorbing
Well,
it.
So are you saying that she's melting the blue dye?
I'm saying it's going back into her blood. I don't even know what melting the blue dye means. Like, she's,
I'm just saying, because you mentioned the heat. I was just trying to figure out what the heat had to do.
Turns back into a liquid state, and then it can be absorbed.
All I want to know,
can't
when it
confirm
gets
that.
back to her, is it purple?
I can't confirm that.
Oh my
Turn
god.
purple afterwards.
Y'all are so childish.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take their absorbency system, and I'm so scared to tell you what this is made of, but you can do your
It
research.
looks like the stuff that's in baby diapers.
Look like the stuff that's underneath my carpet. That
This
thing look
like
terrible.
gel right here. Hair
Yeah,
gel.
the stuff that's in like baby diapers.
Yeah, that's some of the stuff that's on it, but
I
you
never
see this
changed the
material
diaper, so I
here?
don't know.
Yeah, what about that material?
This is recycled newspaper. This is wood chips that they bleach and take through an 8-step bleaching process to make it look white.
Wow.
Right,
So
because we think
You
white
said
is clean.
And
Eight-step
cotton,
process.
right?
Right.
So now what we're going to do, we're going to put the absorbency system in the cup that has the least amount of water.
Which is
cup
this one on the right.
We're going to put that in there.
So now we place the
Absorbency.
I'm sorry, I'm going to clean this up.
It's all good. It's all good.
we place the I don't know what is.
Absorbency system.
I don't want to say that though. The who knows what that is?
What that is.
We place the inside of the diaper inside
Diaper.
are the
Stop doing that. That's
napkin
mean.
napkin exhibit napkin A inside of the water, and it looked from long distance like cotton. When you get close and start touching it, it's something closer to like plastic or what you would find in a baby's diaper. Then we place it inside of this cup. At this point, it looks like
It's not doing nothing.
It's drowning.
melted
Right.
ice.
The water isn't lowering. Actually, yeah, not at all. Nothing.
Looks disgusting.
This last layer here, as you can see, it looks like a trash
And that was
bag,
the one
right?
at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah, that's a trash. That looked like a trash bag.
Right, that's equivalent to 4 plastic trash bags.
Oh,
Oh, that's how thick it is.
oh,
That's
for
what
real?
you
Now, think
they
about
can hear
this.
that.
Do you see any holes or anything for the woman to breathe?
Nope.
So, like we mentioned before, the woman's body is 98.5 degrees. You have blood, you have urine, you have blood clots. It's just sitting there with no breathability, right? So this is what causes a breeding ground for what?
Bacteria.
Yeah.
You the man.
You better believe
You
it.
the man. So you getting educated today. Now you know.
That's what I'm talking about.
He doesn't.
Give me a pass so I can take a picture.
You know what?
Now you know. Just know it's the campaign. And he going.
Y'all about to have me going home preaching to my darn wife.
Oh, so can we destroy this one?
Don't bring that non-Cherish stuff in my house.
Right?
Uh-oh, now, all right, everybody.
And we get into the Cherish pad.
Now we're about to take apart the Cherish pad. This is a fair man. After he took apart these people's pads, now he said, let's take
These
apart
people.
the Cherish pad. Once we open it up right off the top, we have a pink strip.
Go ahead and touch that.
Nice little design on it. So we're touching the outer layer, the part that would be skin to skin with the woman, I believe.
Is it wet?
Not only is it not wet, but Oak smelled it twice, which means it must not smell badly. That's the third
If it
time.
was fragrance free, like I don't smell anything. I just want to see if it smelled like anything.
Oh, does that have a lot to do fragrance free?
I mean, anything that you add fragrance to down there is gonna.
Oh, for real?
I mean, it can.
It can
It has a
irritate you?
potential of
Oh, okay.
Has a potential. But there's no fragrance on this Cherish pad. So on the outside layer of the Cherish pad, what does it feel like, Oak?
It feels like a sheet.
It feels like a sheet. We lay on
Cotton, I
sheets.
guess.
100%. Like Frank Lucas said, American Gangsters. 100%.
100%, baby.
Are you suggesting to us that this is made out of heroin?
No,
Heroin.
So no, this is 100% cotton.
It's 100%.
It's 100% cotton on the outer layer. When Oak feels it, she immediately was enticed to smell it. This is typically what she does with her sheets. So we know that this is good material. I have no idea if that's really what she does with her sheets.
I have no idea.
Twice my
I think everybody picks up something soft that's a sheet and be like, oh.
Now, a lot of people ask us immediately, what is this? Right?
I was going to ask you immediately, what is that?
Immediately.
Okay.
Just to describe what it looks like, unless you want to describe it.
So this is an all-natural algae strip. We call it a negative ion strip because it has negative ions in it.
Excuse me, was that allergy or algae?
Algae.
Algae.
Why in...
Can I touch it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Algae. Well, why algae? I thought you about to
You
ask.
know algae's a plant, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But
I know algae is in a pool when it ain't been cleaned.
Because you don't know anything about bacteria. 95% of bacteria is actually good for you.
I got the bacteria.
95% of bacteria is good for you.
We're not talking
Probably
about
more like
the
98.
green pool algae.
This is good algae.
This is algae that is come from the plant. Not growing inside the pool because you haven't cleaned it. It's good.
Hey, don't get on the network. Hey, don't get on the Wi-Fi.
Hey,
So it's algae in it.
it's made from an algae plant, but it
Okay.
has negative ions in it.
Okay.
Okay, so negative ions, if you do your own independent research, it is atoms and molecules, right? We talked about this kind of.
Yeah,
in.
we did.
So negative ions regarding this pad. So like negative ions, if you're near the waterfall or the beach, negative ions is going to become active anywhere is water, or moisture, right? So regarding this pad, why it's in here is because it's going to help fight bacteria. So the women who have tried this, all have said when they tried this pad, there was no odor. The negative ion kills the odor of the bacteria. Okay, so there's no smell.
Nice.
Also, the negative ion strip, when I was telling you earlier about some of our women who said they have no cramping and no pain, negative ion helps with the cramping. All right.
Oh.
So this is why a lot of women are trying our pad. We got people, and we don't recommend that you use the pad for this. We want you to use the pad for what it's made for, but we got people that's putting it in their shoes.
I seen that. They said some athletes put it in their shoes to reduce like foot pain.
Really?
We got women who have plantar fasciitis that have put it in their shoes. Women who have had back pain. We had a muscle bodybuilder who took this out of the pad, put it on his back, and had his wife take 2 Band-Aids to his shoulder because he had neck pain and shoulder pain, and woke up the next morning with no pain. He wet this. So, we're not making no medical claims, but we have the testimonies to show that it's working. Now, I'm not going to say that it works for all women because, like I said, my wife tried it. It didn't really reduce her cramps.
Yeah.
So
That's impressive. That's impressive.
now this is our absorbency system.
So just so everybody knows what's happening, he's already pulled out the first layer, which we understood to be cotton. The next layer, 100% cotton at that.
Now you feel what this is wrapped in. It still feel like cotton, right?
The next layer is just like cotton, and that was
feels like a
underneath
paper
the
towel.
negative ion
Yeah.
slip.
I'm fine with that. It feels like a paper towel, but
it's
I'm
not
fine with
this.
that.
So we're gonna take this out, and we're gonna unwrap
It's still not plastic.
And
our
that-
absorbency
and
system.
that's the absorbency sheet that you're rolling up right now.
Right, and so
okay.
what's inside of it is polymer from like you said from the other one, from the baby diapers, and this is a food grade polymer, right? So it's
Eat
not
it.
hard for. No, I can't eat that.
He said eat it.
It's food grade.
Nah, that don't mean you eat it though.
That don't mean you eat it. Oh.
That means that you can eat it.
So I'm
you
gonna.
eat it? You eat it with him.
Don't do
If
that
I
because I already
believe
seen
it.
you lick this. So
I don't like that.
He wasn't gonna tell nobody, but the whole time he was looking at her like that woman crazy. I was looking at her too when she stuck that tongue. I wasn't gonna say nothing. No, I wasn't.
Y'all better
She on
stop.
national Facebook. She ain't no reason to put her out like that. Like since he did it though, she did look at that.
I ain't looking at this.
See, that's why we say you hot.
I mean, she want me to eat food grade polymer and die right here on the spot.
You're not gonna die.
We just gonna rush you to the hospital.
That ain't good for your product to say you're gonna die from me. But he won't really die. He's exaggerating.
He's exaggerating.
Yeah. Sales just went down 2 points.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's about to go, when I put this thing in here, it's about to go up.
I want y'all to know what's about to happen.
So
he has just like he did with napkin A.
And
he
it's-
pulled out the absorbency system. He put it inside of the water. Napkin A, it looks like the water absorbed it. Now we're seeing that he's taking out the absorbency system from
Excellent.
the Cherish pad, and he's gonna drop it in the water. Now I want you guys to know one thing. When he chose to drop Napkin A's absorbency system into the water, he chose the one with less or more water.
Less water.
With less water. So now the other cup, which had more water in it, is the one that he's going to drop the Cherish absorbency system into the pad. Into the water. Let's do it.
So this has the most water.
Let's do it.
We all agreed that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now this last layer here. Remember their last layer? It looked like a baby diaper, right? It looked like a plastic bag, right?
Yes.
Right. So you see these kind of like 4 lines going down here.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
So that's
Look like 4 little
Yep, I
racetracks.
see it. If you look it through the light,
Let me see.
Right.
I
So
can see it.
there's
almost
actually
like ventilation.
It's ventilation. It has holes, little tiny holes in there for the woman to breathe. All
Nice.
right.
So you was really thinking about the woman with this product.
Like I said, once I seen it, man, I couldn't deny but to be down with it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, how you feel? How
This is
measure up with
amazing.
to the eye test?
I just want everybody to know that
mean,
this is amazing.
It's cool, I guess.
It's cool. Is it sticky? Is it hard? Is it soft?
sticky.
Does
It's not-
it look like
I
it'll
gotta
be
see the
irritant
other.
to the skin?
And
Will it-
check this out. Look, and our we don't use it's a certain kind of glue that the other companies use that's harmful, and we don't use that kind of glue. But I gotta do it. It slipped my mind right now. But what I want to show you is that this is not plastic, because plastic don't tear like this.
Look at that.
Oh wow!
This is biodegradable, which means it's good for the earth.
Please
What is it
don't
made
throw
out
away.
of?
Please don't throw it on the ground.
I want to say live paper, but I'm not sure. I'll be honest, I'm not sure the correct name.
Oh, wow! You just
But it's some kind of paper.
ripping it
It's
easy.
not plastic though. Yeah, plastic don't rip like that.
It's biodegradable.
Biodegradable.
That's all we need to know. We can put that thing in the ground and the
What's
plant
going
come
on
out.
over here?
All right, so how long would you say I had this
Yeah,
Exhibit A
that's cool.
in their
15
cup?
15 minutes, maybe.
Probably
10.
like
Maybe 10,
8.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, and we can see that there's still water in here, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So now, how long would you say I had the Cherish pad absorbency system in here?
I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
50 seconds?
That thing absorbed all the water inside the cup in about 30 seconds.
In about
The
30.
only thing is, it's like the Cherish pad got really heavy. That was the only thing. It got really heavy and thick compared to the small one.
Well,
That's because that thing is absorbing. That thing going to work.
You're right. So we can look at it. You can't get a drop of water out of here.
Enjoy the whole thing. 30 seconds. I sit there and watch it. That thing was amazing.
Can't get a drop of water out. I mean,
That's my only critique. So when you go
Oh,
back
wow.
and talk to the person that made it, if there's a way to make it lighter, because you don't want it heavy either.
well, we have some people complaining it's too light, but I mean, there's some
Complaining that it's too light.
yeah.
I mean,
it's too light.
it got to get heavy when it's absorbing. Like it's carrying stuff.
No, it doesn't.
But look,
There's some pads
I
that
can
don't
take
get
their-
heavy at all.
I can
That's
take
'cause they ain't
water and
absorbing
pour it
nothing.
in here, and it's just going to absorb.
They're not.
so you got the extra water in here.
Right? Can I see that?
Almost definitely.
Thank you.
That thing nasty. I know.
Wow.
But it's
That
lovely, though.
That is incredible.
Look at that.
That is incredible. So we looking at
Pour it.
100
I just want y'all to understand what just
I
happened.
mean, we're looking at 100 milliliters almost now.
Well, maybe.
I want y'all to understand what just happened. He took
wait.
the remaining water that was not absorbed by Exhibit A, Napkin A pad, poured it inside of the Cherish water that was already absorbed to give it more to absorb. We looking at it like, there's no way that it's going to absorb more, and it absorbed more.
And did it like
It looked like a slushy.
yeah.
But check this
Exactly what
out.
it is.
That's disgusting.
You know why? Like we mentioned earlier, our women are changing like so frequently that this is why they got to buy 30 and 40 in the pack, because the absorbency system is not going to hold you.
Not doing nothing.
And this is their overnight. See what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that's the demo, y'all.
Now we know.
Now you know.
Now we know. That's incredible.
All right. How much it cost? Go ahead, lay it on.
Yeah.
How much it costs? Now, you know, some network marketing companies, you can find the best coffee, right? The organic coffee that's best for you is $40, right?
$40.
Right?
$40 a bag.
You got them weight loss pills. So you can lose weight in 40 pounds in a week, right?
40 pounds a week.
It's what? $100 for
$100.
120 tablets of pills, right?
$100 for 100.
Something like that.
How much
do you think the pads are?
They're probably about. They should be.
Hold on.
Like,
First of all, help me out. Oh, how much does that one cost?
I'm gonna say the pads that I use
You said this was,
are about $6.49 for about 16 of them.
So you can get 16 for $6.49 of the terrible stuff.
That's like, what, 40 cents? And like 30 cents?
I don't know what the unit price is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Cherish pad.
Hold on, this man talking. Everybody be quiet. He's about to tell us how much the Cherish pad
The
costs.
Cherish premium sanitary napkins. This is it right here. It's only $5.
How much? How many?
10 in a pack. Like I mentioned,
it's similar.
you're not going to be changing that often like you do in the other ones, right? Because it's going to be keeping you. It should be keeping you more dry.
Wear that thing for 6 days with your dirty self.
Here's another thing.
You stupid. Oh, it ain't with it yet? Oh, okay. Let me keep this on.
Put that thing back on.
Right.
My wife tried these, right? It's shortened. The negative ion strip shortened her cycle from 7 to a normal 7 days to 4 days. And she had 5 left over.
Could have sucked that thing all the way up.
She said it shortened her cycle.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's different.
Shorten her cycle. She normally has a 7-day cycle.
So you're telling me we got better absorbency, shortened cycles, lesser pain.
All these are testimonies from real people.
Yeah, I got
and they
them on
don't
the
even
phone.
get as angry. But I didn't forget that you said it's cool for them to get angry too. That didn't slip my mind.
Well, I mean, if you look at the material it's made out of, and if you do your own independent research, you can see why it throws off their pH balance. You know, why their emotions change and stuff like that, right? So, I mean, that's something to look at.
So an interesting point was raised in the chat. One, first of all, a lot of people in the chat are saying this is an amazing product for our women. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But an interesting point was raised in the chat. It's not about, this is what the person says, it's not about how much it absorbs, but how it responds when pressure is put on it. What would you say to that?
I would say that's true. And I would say for some women who are heavy, it's going to work good for you because the heavier you are, the more dry you want to be, right? Would you say that?
Well, I think what this person was asking, like I was saying earlier, is that the pad got really thick. Now, you don't want a heavy pad in your underwear while you're walking around.
I think because
that was my only critique for this.
I think because you see it get heavy, I don't think it's gonna feel that way, because I haven't had that response where the woman tells me that it's too heavy.
Okay.
You know, all I've heard is that one lady told me it's the most fresh. A lot of women tell me it feels fresh. It feels like a different feel. They tell me this is the most tight lock absorbency pad they ever felt.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna start selling this thing. Listen, I'm gonna ask you a question.
So has anyone
We started off by pouring water on each pad, and then we put pressure on each pad with our hands. Our twice did on one. There's only one that came out with a wet napkin. We put pressure on each pad with a wet napkin, and there's only one that came out with a wet napkin. The other napkin was dry. We squeezed them, no water came out of it. So to answer the question about pressure being placed on the pad, absolutely,
You're still gonna be
the
dry.
Cherish is going to be the better product.
The one where you still be feeling comfortable after pressure.
I think it's a good product, and I don't care nothing about pads.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like, men can say it's a good product because you have no experience with pads.
Right. We basically
Now
have
you've
to go off
had
your
women,
experience.
right? Now you've had women that have given you good testimony. There's also a lot going out there that's saying that it's radioactive. Now, we all know that radioactive doesn't necessarily mean that it's dangerous. It's different kinds of radioactivity in the world, or things that we encounter all the time. But what did you come across in your research that says that this is a safe product, even though it's radioactive?
Well, here's what I know from our COO, Mr. Joel Medina. There was basically someone who went on a blog. I mean, you're going to have haters every time you're going to shake up the market.
Absolutely.
Right? So this person wrote a blog and said that our product wasn't radioactive, which is not true. Our COO sent us a picture, and basically, I'm going to read what he told us.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Yes.
He says, for your information, in June 2017, the U.S. Customs Department did a full inspection, including radiation readings, x-rays, and even the USDA inspected our products on one of our containers for a full scope test, because we have to fly these containers to the warehouse. So they have to be tested to see if there's any radioactive in it, okay? So he says this happened from a random inspection control that they did for many containers during those days, and we passed with flying colors. Absolutely no harmful radiation for the entire container. So, like I said, you're going to have haters when you shake up the market. And, you know, since I've been doing this, I've been seeing people. Now, let me tell you something. This concept with the negative ion strip and the 100% cotton, we didn't create this. This has been in China for 20 years, in Asia.
Oh, wow.
Okay? They've been doing this for years.
You mean the country that kills babies so that people don't have kids?
Babies?
Well,
Oh, child, we gotta look more into this.
yeah, you can have another guest to talk about that.
We gotta look a little further into this, child.
But basically, our company got together and it was introduced to Joel Medina, who introduced it to some of his partners in business. Okay, and they decided to bring this to North America because really it was nothing like this here, right? So ever since I've been in this campaign, I've seen people say, oh, well, we got this that's 100%, but you have no campaign. Where's your movement?
Yeah.
What was you doing before Cherish jumped on the scene?
Yeah.
And for
Maybe they
Inspired
didn't have the
Network jumped on the
funding.
scene.
Maybe you guys inspired them.
Well, hey, they too late.
They too late.
Because we taking over the game right
So
now.
what kind of other products is Cherish trying to
He just went
Hold on,
from activist to businessman. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
You said that it's not radioactive, and New York CEO said that, but that's incorrect because it says that it's infrared. So that means that it uses gamma rays, and that's what's helping the inflammation.
Well, but I don't think he said that it wasn't radioactive though.
He did say that.
No, he said that it was
He
no
said it's
harmful.
not
I said it
radioactive.
tested.
There was no harmful radio.
Okay, so but before he read it, he said that it wasn't radioactive, and he was going to read what his CEO said.
Yep. The
Okay,
CEO.
so he
Did I
said
say that? Did I say it wasn't radioactive before I read it?
I just know. All I know is the CEO statement that you read. He said there was nothing harmful, no harmful
He said
radio.
it- he said it passed with flying colors, right?
Said that there was. He said that he said that there was a blog
that
made
said.
about it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
a
Okay,
blog.
so it is radioactive. Infrared.
How can
gamma
you do
rays.
that just by looking at it?
Because it says it right here. Fair infrared. It says
Okay.
that. Right, so that means gamma rays is being radiated from this pad, which is fine.
But
is fine.
Isn't there a difference between active and inactive? Are gamma rays
Gamma
inactive?
rays are active.
They're active.
Yeah, they penetrate the skin. And what they do is it causes the release of antioxidants, and that's what makes the inflammation go down.
And that's probably what was in the ions that was in the strip.
Right, that is. So I just wanted to correct you because you said it wasn't radioactive when it is radioactive. The only problem that people have with it is because they don't know the long use of it. Now, sometimes when you go in, like I had breast surgery and I had to go under a red light, and she gave me infrared therapy, and it reduces inflammation. Now, that's a one-time thing. Now, we're telling people to use this for the rest of the extent of them having a cycle. So that's the issue that people are having with it, because they don't know how the extended use of it is going to play out for people. So have you done your research to see if they're developing some kind of way to find out the long use of these gamma rays for something as sensitive as like ovaries?
Well, if I know that my COO is saying that they've tested it for those type of tests, for radioactive tests, and then I'm going with his word. All right.
Going with science. Let's go with science. I like it. So any other products that Cherish is trying to come out with, or you gonna attack any kind of different industries? What's going on?
We got a lot of things coming out. We gonna have a right to fight the campaign coming out for our
What's that one
men.
about?
For men who have prostate issues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a bunch of nutraceuticals that are all natural.
Nutraceutical, like pills?
Yes, that are all natural. We have the
Why you just didn't say pills?
well,
Nutraceutical, that's
He came up here talking about sanitary napkins and peel. I'm just whole time like, man, I don't know what we talking about.
You almost confused.
yeah, pills, natural pills, herb pills that are going to help.
That's what nutraceutical. That's like so that.
It sounds like
natural
pharmaceutical, but it's a nutritious based.
Well, because we do
right.
pharmacy.
That's what it sounds
And
like.
pharmaca
Context
means
clues.
witchcraft. So nutraceutical.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, pharmaca. The pharmacy
Oh,
is
okay.
short for pharmaca. You remember we did that
Right.
a few weeks ago, and pharmacy means witchcraft in Latin.
So Inspire is like
Greek, excuse me.
it's a company that basically funds products.
No.
Or tell us about Inspire.
Inspire is a company that is in the health and wellness industry. We have somebody that manufactures these pads that, like, the CEO don't make them themselves, you know.
Right, I found that out.
Yeah, so the same with the pills, and we also have a Sweetest for Her, which is a sexual enhancement for the woman, and we have something called Taboo for the men. That's a natural product also.
So would you say this is some type of weird strategy by me promoting this project just to get to the sexual enhancement?
Not at all. I don't think you can find enough men to pose with pads just to get a sexual enhancement.
I don't know. Twice just tucked a couple.
Hey, you know,
No,
if
just
I'm
messing
gonna be on the commercial, that's the commercial I'm gonna be for.
Okay.
The enhancement.
All right.
And I'm gonna be up there with the shades on, stunning shades, cheesing.
Well, I'll make sure I send you some.
Oh yeah, I might need it for sure. I'll be slanging them too.
So we can't go and buy these things from the store, right?
No.
None of these products. We
So
have
how
to
do
buy
we-
them
how
from
do
a
we find-
distributor.
Yeah, you have to find them from a distributor, which I am one. So if you would like to get your hands on the Cherish sanitary napkin, we are going to be launching a customer portal where customers can go on, just like they go on Amazon, pick their product out, order it, and have it shipped to their home. And so we're going to be launching that portal probably within the next 3 weeks. And if you want to get your hands on it, my email is Larri, Larri, 1981 @gmail.com. You can also call me, and one of my representatives will get to you. It's 844-705-9874.
Oh,
I think I said that right.
Perfection. So are you in the works of trying to get into any stores, or are
No,
you just trying to
Cherish will
stay-
never be in stores.
Never.
No, because
Reason?
this sitting next to a bunch of pads, people are just going to walk by it and just mistake it for a regular
Something
pad.
regular.
You know, so we want there's no emotion with it sitting on the shelf. So we bring the emotion, we bring the campaign to educate, and you know, it'll never be in the store.
Now it would be critical. I'm with you the whole time. So what you're telling us now is you believe that it would not be in stores because there's a lack of emotion there. However, if a person was introduced to this emotionally and then it were in stores, don't you think that would provide more sales and convenience?
No.
Why not?
Well, for one, I know it'll never be in stores because our CEO is in the network marketing industry, and he has a history and background and a love for it. And so he's allowing distributors like me to earn entrepreneurship and income from home. And he's very dedicated about doing that. So that's one of the reasons I know it'll never be in stores.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you another question. How did you get, who introduced you to this?
A gentleman by the name of Damon Briggs, who is a friend of my wife's girlfriend.
When you sell a pad, does he make money?
He sure does.
And the person that introduced him, when you sell a pad and he sells a pad, does that person make money off of him?
Yep.
That's what
It's
network
multi-level marketing. That's what I got into when I did the research on
But
Inspire.
here's the thing about our company.
What's another name for that?
It's multi-level marketing.
marketing.
Here's the thing
Is
about
there
our
any other name for
Pyramid
it?
scheme, would you call it?
But they don't call it a pyramid scheme anymore.
Pyramid scheme is at any 9 to 5 job. Okay.
All of them.
Right.
For sure.
That's a pyramid scheme.
For sure, all of them.
Right.
But
McDonald's
this
has a
is-
franchise, right? They have franchises all over the U.S. and in other
The world.
countries, right? So that money kicks back to somebody eventually, right?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah. No,
So
I say that all the time.
Yeah. So is McDonald's a
a little
pyramid
different.
scheme?
a little different.
No different.
Hey,
So this is the reason why it's different. In your example with a McDonald's, right? There's agreement, set pay. Nothing changes that pay, right? So I'm gonna make $8 an hour, no matter what, as long as I'm working here, or unless I get a raise or a dock and pay. With this type of setup, it's more based off of commission, and then your sale trickles up all the way to the top. right? Each individual sale trickles up on a somewhat commission basis, and that's the difference. At McDonald's, it doesn't matter how many burgers I sell. I'm going to make $8, and then the person at the top is going to get all of the money or some of the money or whatever percentage that they decide. But me personally, I'm just gonna get my $8 whether I sell a burger or not sell a burger, and that individual burger doesn't determine any more or less at my level, my boss's level, not until you get higher up to the multi levels.
That's true. Well, one thing I wanted to say about our company is that unlike other network marketing companies, you don't have to recruit in our company. You can just sell the pads, and you know,
if you do recruit, do you get a bonus?
You can sell the pad. You don't have to recruit anybody.
If you choose to recruit, do you get a bonus?
If you choose to, yeah, you do get a bonus. Yeah.
How long have you been with Inspire Network?
Since May.
Since May, okay. Were you an entrepreneur before you started Empire Network?
I've tried to get into entrepreneurship. I've read books and watched videos to get into that mindset of how entrepreneurs think. And one of the things that motivate me was, you know, going to work and seeing people complain about how unhappy they were. Right. And me being in that boat with them. But instead of me complaining, I took action. You know what I'm saying? I took action because if I can, you know, wake up on my own alarm clock, if I can determine my schedule and dictate how I eat, that's the kind of life that I would shoot for. You know, I don't want to let this company and that company dictate how I eat. To be, I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like, I work for the school district, right?
That's cool.
You were working for the school district?
I work for the school district.
Oh, you still do?
Yes. Okay. So I'm sure you heard in the news about the budget cuts and things like that, you know, they're looking to cut back and some people may lose their jobs.
What do you do for the school district?
I'm a special needs school bus driver.
Okay.
So that's letting somebody dictate how I eat, because I've been there 10 years, but they can take my job away from me just like that. You know, so I want to dictate how I eat.
Yes, most definitely. So
I know the feeling. I used to work at a casino and just watching everybody run to the time clock when I worked at Wynn. Like, if you didn't clock in on time, even though you were on site, you get a disciplinary point. So seeing that kind of stuff, it could trigger you like, man, why am I here? What am I doing? But I mean, some people prefer it. Some people prefer to work for somebody because it's, you know, less stress.
It's easier, yeah.
It's less stress, and there's nothing wrong with it.
So you said you've been doing did a lot of studying on entrepreneurship. What's one of those thoughts or ideas that a lot of entrepreneurs had in common that you came across?
One of the things, let me see, I would say is that you have to think different. That's what I heard all of them say, is that you have to train your mind how to think differently. You know what I'm saying? That's what I heard most of all of them say from Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is the one that kind of influenced me, because I watched a video on him and he said that if you're not making money online with the millions of people that tune in online to whether they're buying or shopping, I mean, look at all the stores that are closing down, and because their customer base is mostly online. There's nobody going into the stores and buying at JCPenney's anymore and stuff like that. So, you know, if he said if you're not making money online, then you're losing out. Even if you just want to do it part-time, if you're not making an income online, you're losing out. Yeah. That's what got me going. And so one of the things, I watch Shark Tank a lot, you know, and one of the things I heard one of them say is that you have to change your mindset. Yeah. You know, because you can't think like a 9-to-5er when you want to be an entrepreneur.
Most definitely. So you got any other projects coming up? We've got a couple more questions for you before we get up out of here.
Man, right now it's just about Cherish. We about to launch very soon, and I'm excited for the people who tried it. We have there was a viral video with Damon Amin, who did this same demonstration in somebody's kitchen, and it had 50 million views.
Yeah, I seen that one.
Right.
That was the first time I heard about this pad.
Yeah, and really, Inspire Network was not ready for that. We were kind of floating under the radar, getting things together, and there was a immediate demand. How can I get these pads? Man, black people don't know how to run a business. Just because, you know, he couldn't get back to all 1,000 people who requested to get pads from him, you know, fast enough. So, you know, they've been really kicking down the door to try this product. So,
is it black owned? Is this black created?
The CEO is African American. The COO is Latin descent.
Inspire or Cherish?
Inspire.
Okay.
Both Cherish and Inspire.
Caller, you're on the line. What's going on?
Cherish is the product.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So who developed that? They said it was a female doctor. Was that a black woman?
I'm I'm not sure.
Okay.
I never seen her.
Okay. We don't really have a caller, do we?
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna have to disconnect the line.
Yeah, we can
Thanks for
take
calling in.
phone calls.
Oh, I didn't know somebody called
We just
in.
never
Hey.
do. Yeah, that's the number right there.
So, question. What's the difference between being an entrepreneur and a business owner?
That's a good question. I think I don't think there's much difference. If you're a business owner and it's yours, it's your baby, you developed it, to me, you're an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? If you decide to open up your own soul food restaurant or, whatever it is you do, you're an entrepreneur because it's yours. You don't have to call in to work sick. You don't have to check with somebody to see if you can get off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's an entrepreneur.
So I got this question from Lewis Howes. He actually has a podcast called The School of Greatness. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should. So he ends his shows off like this. I haven't asked this question, and I'm very curious about what your answers will be. So he says, let's say everything you ever written got erased, and you're on your deathbed, and your kids you're trying to leave a message for your kids, and you can only write 3 things down, 3 truths about life down. And you're giving this off to your grandkids, kids, for people to remember you by. What would those 3 truths be?
I would say work hard, love God, and obey His standards.
Amen. Amen.
I like you, my brother.
That was good.
Man, those are real truths, for sure.
What I'm talking about.
You got any other final thoughts today?
I just want people to know, once again, you can, if you're interested in the Cherish product, you can reach me at Larri, Larri, 1981 at gmail.com. Hit me on the number at 844-705-9874. Leave a message with my representative. They'll get back to you.
Most definitely. Oh, you got any final thoughts today?
Oh, I do want to say this.
Let us know.
This is yours.
Okay.
Oh, bag it up. Yeah, okay.
I ain't gonna say nothing about him giving you the
I
one
know you
missing.
got a woman in your life.
He doesn't. No, I'm just joking. He does.
I like to keep her irritable.
Okay, so listen
You
to
like
me.
to keep her.
Understand
Take
this.
that home and spray it with a water hose.
Understand this. When you get that girl and you decide to let her come over with that overnight bag,
That overnight bag.
Will you marry me?
I want you to
gotta
cherish her.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I want you to cherish her with this. Okay.
Okay. I just got narked on for not giving gifts the other day, man. I got something now.
I know you got a niece. I know you got a niece or something that somebody that you can give that to.
Oh, that's love, man. I appreciate it, man. We getting gifts in here, man. What's up? Yeah. Oh, you got any final thoughts today?
My final thought is I will wear this on the Thursday that I am on my cycle and give you guys a review.
Give you a review.
Since we like to talk about things like this now.
Oh, okay.
And I'll school you on that once we get off air, though.
School me.
Yeah, because that's just our day pass. So we got to talk about your cycle and stuff like that.
Oh, so you got to get into the science.
All right now.
Science, okay.
Now
Yeah,
you
we
got upset.
Another product.
I actually ran out some of the nights and the overnights and the panty liners. I sold out of those. Those
Right.
was like, so
like hotcakes.
that's all I had.
Not much of a panty liner person, so.
Okay.
You got tampons?
No, we don't recommend tampons.
Reason being?
Got to do your own independent research.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of reasons. I wear tampons and pads and cups.
The man said
At the
I use
same
them all.
at the same
I really would prefer that women start using the cups more than anything.
cups
But-
in your drawer.
Vagina.
I've heard about the
Oh,
cups.
inside.
I mean, they have got stuck inside of people before.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a complaint about, and I heard a lady who said she
never
loves
use-
the cups and never go back to pass. So.
Yeah, I
wow.
like the cup too. It's lit. But anyways, my final thought is my bad.
You said that you was gonna go ahead and no,
And
go
use
ahead.
that. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yo, just real underground hip hop.
Me Titus.
I just feel like, when we take on challenges to educate people and to like attach to a campaign, that we really do our own personal research, so that we know that what we're doing is for the people and not constructed by a corporation that's using us. Not saying that you are, but just for further, just to further the cause. Just make sure people really know what they're campaigning for. So that's my final thought.
Okay. Yeah, well, my final thought today is, I've told you guys this once before, you probably might not remember, but it's not about those that correct our flaws. It's not about those that praise our accomplishments the loudest. It's about those that correct our flaws most gently. And you, Mr. Larry, are trying to correct those flaws gently, and we appreciate that most definitely. For real. And another thing I need for y'all to do is go ahead and take the time out to go see overthetopLV.com. They have some amazing things going over there right now. We got some artists, painters, poets, pretty much anybody that's doing anything great. You can go check them out, man, because it's just a level above the rest. And I still need to get your music on 91.5. We're trying to run that. You got to send me your link, send me your files in a WAV format to shenanigansontheradio@gmail.com. Make sure they're edited, too, because, you know, we are regulated by the FCC. But, yeah, make sure you go ahead and do that for me. And remember, baby, I one thought twice, it'll be a better place. Love, man.
Rain.